Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to knit this really easy 1x1 ribbed baby hat. So this hat is going to fit 6 to 9 months old baby, and if you are just a total beginner knitter who just knows how to do a knit stitch and purl stitch, you can definitely knit up this hat. And I'll also show you how to make this pom pom at the top. So this is actually a really beginner friendly pattern. If you're looking for something really easy to knit up, then this video is going to be perfect for you. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So we are going to start off by casting on 68 stitches on 4mm needles. I'm using circular needles. You can also use straight needles if you want. And the cast on method that I'm using is long tail cast on method. You can use any method that is suitable for you. And once we have the required number of stitches, let's move on to knit row 1. So in row number 1 we are going to knit in 1x1 rib. So we are going to slip the first stitch purlwise like so and take the working yarn to the back, and next we are going to knit the first stitch. So you are going to insert the needle knitwise into the first stitch and you are going to knit that. Next, bring the working yarn to the front and insert the needle purlwise, and you are going to purl that stitch. Again, yarn to the back, knit 1, yarn to the front and purl 1. So you're going to repeat this knit 1 purl 1 till the end of the row. So here I have last 2 stitches. I'm going to purl the second last stitch and knit the last stitch, and with that we have completed knitting row 1. Now turn your work and we are going to move on to knit row number 2, which is exactly same as row number 1. So slip the first stitch purlwise, take your working yarn to the back, and we have the first knit stitch. So we are going to knit it, yarn to the front. Next is purl. We are going to purl, yarn to the back, knit 1, yarn to the front and purl 1. So basically you are going to do 1x1 ribbing. So we are going to continue to repeat row 1 and knit in 1x1 rib until the work measures 8 inches. So I have finished working up my piece and I'm going to lay it on a flat surface and measure it. So it is exactly 8 inches. Next we are going to leave about 1 meter of the yarn and we are going to cut the yarn. Next you are going to need a tapestry needle or darning needle and then feed the yarn through. So we are going to use a double strand of yarn here, so I'm doubling it, and we are going to now transfer all the stitches that we have currently on our working needle onto this scrap yarn using the tapestry needle. And for transferring the stitches we are simply going to insert the tapestry needle purlwise like so, and you're going to slip that stitch onto your tapestry needle without knitting. Now continue to transfer all the stitches onto the tapestry needle using this method. So I have finished transferring all the stitches onto this scrap yarn, and now we are going to pull the yarn as tight as possible. So this is actually going to form the crown of the hat, and you're going to pull the yarn as tight as possible. And once we have that crown of the hat, we are going to secure the yarn by inserting it on the opposite side. So you're going to insert the needle and just secure it. And what I like to do is I like to go around that circle you can see at the top one more time, just to make the work a bit more secured. So with that, we have finished making the crown of the hat. Now let's move on to sewing up these two sides. So I'll be using the mattress stitch to sew up these sides. So before we start joining, we are going to take a measuring tape and measure 1.5 inches from the bottom of the hat, and we are going to place a stitch marker right here. So this much part is going to be the rim of the hat. Next, I'm going to take 2 more stitch markers and place them at certain intervals. So this is going to help our work from sliding off, and it is going to make it much more easier to work with while we are doing the mattress stitch. So before we start doing the mattress stitch, I am quickly going to secure this yarn which we used to make the crown of the hat. Now you're going to pass the needle onto the opposite side of the work like so, and we are going to secure it. I'm just going to remove this stitch marker for right now. And then just pass the needle a few times through the stitches and then secure it. And once you are done securing your work, you can go ahead and snip the yarn, and let's move on to sewing up the sides of the hat using the mattress stitch. So you can go ahead and place the stitch marker which we earlier removed, and now let's move on to do the mattress stitch. For doing the mattress stitch, we are only going to use a single strand of yarn, because double strand yarn is going to make it much more bulky. So I'm going to first go ahead and make a few knots to secure the yarn, and then we can finally start to sew the panels together. So for doing the mattress stitch, we are not going to use the edge stitch that you can see that runs along the side. We are going to use the first stitch that comes right after the edge stitch. So you will have to stretch the stitches a bit to find these horizontal bars. You can see you will have to stretch your work a bit. So you can see these horizontal bars. We are going to pick these bars with our tapestry needle, and we will pick 2 bars at a time. So stretch your work, make some room for your needle, and we will pick 2 horizontal bars like so. And do not pull your working yarn tight at this point, just let it loose. Onto the other side, we are not going to use the edge stitch. Just stretch your work to find these horizontal bars and just feed your needle through. So we are going to pick 2 horizontal bars at a time, alternatively on the opposite sides of the work. So I've just finished the other side, onto the other side, and again onto the next side. So likewise you are going to pick these bars from both the sides up until the first stitch marker. Just keep in mind you are not going to pull the working yarn tight at this point, just let it loose. And once you have finished picking up all the stitches, you can go ahead and remove the stitch marker that we placed earlier, and we are going to pull the working yarn now. So before you start pulling the working yarn, just go ahead and place your work on a flat surface and press your work firmly with your left hand, and then we are going to pull the yarn. So as you pull the yarn, you can see it really nicely closes up both the edges. So you can see the mattress stitch gives a really nice finish, and this is what I love about this stitch. So I'm going to continue to pick up stitches and seam the panels together up until the third stitch marker. So we have finished sewing up the panels together up until the last stitch marker. Now we have the last 1.5 inches left, which we earlier marked. Now you can go ahead and remove the stitch marker, and we are going to feed this needle onto the wrong side of the work. So we are going to do the mattress stitch on the wrong side from here on, and we are also going to turn our work inside out. So this is what the wrong side of the mattress stitch looks like, and from here on up until the very end, we are going to work the mattress stitch on this side. So let's go ahead and do that. So you're going to find those horizontal bars on this side as well, and as earlier we are going to pick up 2 horizontal bars at a time and sew the panels together. So we have finished joining the panels together. Now I'm going to close this up really nicely. I'm going to try to make it as neat as possible. And once you're done with that, turn your work onto the wrong side, which is actually the right side, because we are doing the last 1.5 inches of mattress stitch on the wrong side of the work. So this is because we are going to fold that 1.5 inches as the rim of the hat, and if you do mattress stitch all the way till the very bottom on the right side, when you fold it, the wrong side of the mattress stitch is going to show. That's why we did this last 1.5 inches of mattress stitch on the wrong side. So once you have weaved in all the ends, you can go ahead and snip the yarn, and you can go ahead and turn your work onto the right side now. And we did the mattress stitch on the right side up until here, and for the last 1.5 inches we did mattress stitch on the wrong side. So when you fold it, you can see it comes up all together. So this is the final product, and we have finished knitting the hat. It is really stretchy, so it is going to fit really well. Now let's go ahead and move on to make the pom-pom for the hat. So for making the pom-pom, I'm going to wrap the yarn around the 4 fingers like so, about 80 times. So you're going to simply wrap the yarn around your 4 fingers. Here I have finished wrapping the yarn about 80 times. Now we are going to slide the yarn off our fingers really carefully, and then you can go ahead and snip the yarn. Now lay that a bunch of yarn on the flat surface, and we are going to take a scrap yarn like so, and then we are going to place that yarn on top of the scrap yarn. So we are going to tie few knots right at the middle of the yarn we just wrapped around our fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few knots. So we are going to tie it really nicely and tightly, so when you cut the pom-pom, the yarn does not come off. And once you have finished tying the knots, we are going to take a pair of scissors, and then we will start making cuts. So we are going to cut on both the sides of the knot that we placed on the middle. So we are going to cut on this side and this side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut through all the loops. So make sure that you go really in there and cut all the loops. So we are going to cut all the loops on one side first, and then we are going to flip the work, and then we are going to make cuts on the other side. So we have tied knot in the middle, and now we are going to cut on the other side. And once you have finished cutting through all the loops, we are going to fluff it up a bit, and then you can see this is the yarn we used to tie knot in the mid section. So do not cut this yarn, we are going to use it to hold the pom-pom. And next we are going to fluff it up a bit, and then we can go ahead and start shaping this pom-pom. So next we are going to start shaping the pom-pom. So it is really simple for shaping the pom-pom. Just try to make it as round as possible, and remember to fluff your pom-pom at times. So I finished making the pom-pom. I'm just going to give it a good shake and fluff it up for one last time, and I think this is quite good of a shape, and I'm just going to go ahead with this one. So now let's attach this pom-pom to the hat. So for attaching the pom-pom, I'm going to use a crochet hook. Just turn your work on the inside, and I'm just going to go in there with the crochet hook on the crown of the hat like so. And then you can see the scrap yarn that we earlier kept while we made the pom-pom. It is going to make it really easy to attach the pom-pom to the hat. So I'm going to go on the other side of the hat and just pull the yarn on the inside. Just secure it really nicely first, and then we can go ahead and tie few knots to secure it. And with that, we have finished knitting this really easy ribbed baby hat. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me a lot. Till then, I will see you next time. Bye bye and take care.